The iconic guitar solo on Michael Jackson's 1983 hit Beat It is legendary, but its creation was anything but straightforward. Eddie Van Halen wasn't the first choice to play the solo. The financial details on this remain murky, and the tale involves a cut-and-paste studio fix, a flaming speaker, and a bit of band drama. Back in 1982, Michael Jackson was finishing his Thriller album with legendary producer Quincy Jones. Michael wanted a rock track that could hold its own on the record, a song tough enough to stand alongside his pop and funk numbers. When Jackson presented Beat It, Jones knew it needed a killer guitar solo. Quincy Jones reached out to Eddie Van Halen through Steve Lukather, who is the guitarist from Toto and a mutual friend. But Van Halen didn't immediately believe the call was real. He hung up on Quincy 4 times thinking it was a prank. When he finally answered, he was shocked. "Is this Quincy?" he asked. "Yeah," came the reply. Van Halen agreed to come into the studio, not sure how it all would work. At Westlake Studios in Los Angeles, Eddie was handed 16 bars of a repetitive guitar part to solo over. Basically a musical wasteland for a virtuoso used to more dynamic terrain. He asked if he could solo over a verse instead, suggesting the song be rearranged so the solo had room to breathe. While Eddie was working in Studio B, Quincy and Michael were working in Studio A, producing other tracks, including the soundtrack to Steven Spielberg's E.T. Meanwhile, Eddie's engineer, Don Landley, took a bold step. He literally cut the master tape, spliced in a repeated verse section to extend the solo section, and gave Eddie his playground. Eddie plugged in his Frankenstrat to a modified Hartley Thompson amp borrowed from Allen Holdsworth, unleashed his legendary tone, and laid down the solo in 2 takes. When Michael Jackson heard the new solo section, he was impressed. Legend has it the solo was so intense that a speaker in the control room burst into flames. Quincy Jones confirmed that during the mixing, a speaker did catch fire, but not because of Eddie's playing alone. The volume and energy in the studio were just that high. However, that daring tape splice broke the SMPTE synchronization system that locked the 2 24-track tapes used during recording. This meant that Eddie's solo and Michael's vocals were on one tape, while the rest of the backing track was isolated on the other. The production team had a problem: how to recreate the entire backing track to fit with the solo and vocals without losing the original performance's magic. The solution was to send the solo tape to Sunset Sound, where Steve Lukather rebuilt the entire backing track from scratch, playing along to Michael's vocal bleed and the solo. Lukather's rhythm guitar replaced the original 2 metal parts with a more radio-friendly tone after Quincy's input, making the track perfect for pop radio. As for that strange knocking sound before the solo, it's most likely Eddie fiddling with his guitar strap or plectrum, or perhaps a creak from the tremolo arm. Not Michael Jackson banging on a drum, as some might have guessed. The producers left it in as part of the organic vibe. Despite contributing one of the most celebrated solos in pop history, Eddie reportedly didn't get paid for the session. He considered it a favor, and his bandmates were unhappy he didn't consult them first. His solo on Beat It arguably helped Thriller overtake Van Halen's own album, 1984, at the top of the charts, fueling tensions within his band. Years later, Pete Townsend and The Who revealed he was initially approached for the solo but declined, recommending Eddie instead, and that call changed music history. Eddie Van Halen's Beat It solo remains a masterclass in rock guitar, and a testament to the unexpected magic that can happen when worlds collide in the studio.